Okay, so I'm going to do a very brief review of the the intention behind why we define functional dependencies as a concept. So a functional dependency is when you've got a relation with a set of attributes, and knowing the value of one attribute gives you certainty about what the value of a different attribute is going to be. Now, on the one hand, that might seem like a fairly, I don't know, you might call it trivial. I mean, if you've got a relation, you've got a tuple, you've got one value, you know the value of a different attribute in that same tuple. What does it matter? And the answer to that is that the purpose behind databases is we're really trying to make the data very, very explicit. Having functional dependencies in your relation is potentially going to draw in it's drawing data from being made explicit in the tuple itself into being made implicit with a combination of tuple and schema. That's creating an element of complexity in your database design that you really don't want to be in there, because the entire thrust of what we're trying to do with the database is to capture the data itself explicitly. And so what we're going to look at with database normalization is how we will detect these implicit patterns and then how we'll manage them through the design process to force data to be made completely explicit, so that if there is a linkage, we can identify that linkage by reading the tuple, and we don't have to know background facts about where our data has come from to work out whether an apparent functional dependency is an underlying truth of what we're recording, or whether it's just an artifact of the specific data that's in the database. And what I mean by that is that maybe all the cats you've seen happen to be black cats. So in your database, you might look at your database and you might see that if you've got a cat, it's going to be black. However, we know that's not a functional dependency, because there could be cats that are not black that will be added to the database at a later time. Now, what we're doing with functional dependency is we're trying to control, well, maybe we've got something where, I don't know, all circles are shapes, and so the fact that we've only got circles that are shapes in our database is in fact forced, and we're trying to differentiate that from when we've got cats in our database and it happens they're all black, but there could be others.